Good morning, Ram fam, and welcome to this week's edition of the Saturday Spark. Well, if we can give you that little inspiration for your Saturday morning meeting. Last week, I talked about, I want you to focus on 4 things. Taking control, opening up the inventory, hooking the trade, and setting that sticky appointment. Every one of those start with the same thing. You need to understand why the customer is shopping in the first place. Because if you don't know their why, then we're guessing. Back in the day, we called these things a needs assessment. And somewhere along the way, our industry turned it into a showroom-only conversation. The customer shows up, we grab our up sheet, and then we start asking all the questions we should have been asking days ago when we had them on the phone. It's backwards. If you're starting a needs assessment from scratch when the customer arrives for their appointment at the dealership, you didn't do your job over the phone or the internet. The purpose of a phone call isn't to answer questions, and the purpose of an internet lead isn't to send information. The purpose is to start understanding the customer before they ever walk through your door. A customer tells you that they want a Camry, then I want you to say, why a Camry? If they tell you they want that payment under $700, ask why. If they want to talk about their trading their truck, ask them what's changing. If they need a third row, what's going on in your life that makes this important? Every answer should lead to another question, not because you're trying to interrogate them, but because you're trying to understand them. Customers don't wake up in the morning thinking about stock numbers. They wake up thinking about their life. Maybe a lease is ending. The family is growing. They're tired of the repair bills. They're driving too much or too little. You don't know until you asked. And that's what you need to understand. Something's changed, work, home, their finances. That's the conversation. Once you understand what's really driving the decision, everything starts to open up. You stop being trapped on one vehicle. You're not stuck on that one payment, and you're not chasing questions. You're guiding a process. Maybe there are 3 vehicles that solve the problem. Maybe the trade becomes the most important part of the conversation. Timing matters more than price, or they're just looking completely different options make more sense. You never know when it's your job to figure it out. If your store has an upper guest sheet, I want that thing pre-filled out before your customer arrives with the information that you took from the conversation. So when the customer comes in and sees that that form is partially filled out, they know right then and there they did the right thing by calling your dealership. If they see a blank sheet, they're like, oh, we're starting all over again. That's building trust. Managers this week, 15 minutes before appointments, make sure those up sheets are partially filled out with whatever information they have. And when you're listening to calls, did we ask why this customer is shopping with us? Do we know the answers to the questions they asked? There's a big difference. Are we just answering questions, or are we helping drive a customer to the showroom? Understanding what the customer is trying to accomplish, that's where your value is. Customers have more information than they have ever had. What they're looking for now is someone who understands them. Find out the why. Everything else after that, it gets much easier. Get out there and crush it. I'll see you next week.